A number of years ago, while suffering from a mild case of scribe's fever, a form of neurasthenia common among the intelligentsia of that time, I had decided to spend the month of August in the spa town of Nebelspad, below the Alpine Sudetenwalds, and had taken up rooms in the Grand Budapest. A picturesque, elaborate, and once widely celebrated establishment. I expect some of you will know it. It was off-season, and by that time decidedly out of fashion, and it had already begun its descent into shabbiness and eventual demolition. What few guests we were had quickly come to recognize one another by sight as the only living souls residing in that vast establishment, although I do not believe any acquaintance among our number had proceeded beyond the polite nods we exchanged as we passed in the Palm Court and the Arabian Baths and on board the Colonnade funicular. We were a very reserved group, it seemed, and without exception, solitary. Perhaps as a result of this general silence, I had established a casual and bantering familiarity with the hotel's concierge, a West Continental known only as Monsieur Jean, who struck one as being at once both lazy and really quite accommodating. I expect he was not well paid. In any case, one evening, as I stood conferring elbow to elbow with Monsieur Jean, as had become my habit, I noticed a new presence in our company. A small, elderly man, smartly dressed, with an exceptionally lively, intelligent face, and an immediately perceptible air of sadness. He was, like the rest of us, alone, but also, I must say, he was the first that struck one as being deeply and truly lonely, a symptom of my own medical condition as well. "Who's this interesting old fellow?" I inquired of Monsieur Jean. To my surprise, he was distinctly taken aback. "Don't you know?" he asked. Don't you recognize him?" He did look familiar. "That's Mr. Mustafa himself. He arrived early this morning." This name will no doubt be familiar to the more seasoned persons among you. Mr. Zero Mustafa was at one time the richest man in Dubrovka, and was still indeed the owner of the Grand Budapest. He often comes and stays a week or more, 3 times a year at least, but never in the season. Monsieur Jean signaled to me, and I leaned closer. "I'll tell you a secret. He takes only a single-bed sleeping room without a bath in the rear corner of the top floor, and it's smaller than the service elevator." It was well known. Mustafa had purchased and famously inhabited some of the most lavish castles and palazzos on the continent. Yet here, in his own nearly empty hotel, he occupied a servant's quarters? At that moment the curtain rose on a parenthetical domestic drama which required the immediate and complete attention of Monsieur Jean. But frankly did not hold mine for long. However, this premature intermission in the story of the curious old man had left me, as the expression goes, gespannt wie ein Fitzbogen, that is, on the edge of my seat, where I remained throughout the next morning until, in what I have found to be its mysterious and utterly reliable fashion, fate once again intervened on my behalf. "I admire your work." I beg your pardon? "I said I know and admire your wonderful work." "Thank you most kindly, sir. Did Monsieur Jean have a word or two to share with you about the aged proprietor of this establishment?" "I must confess, sir, I did myself inquire about you." "Well, he's perfectly capable, of course, Monsieur Jean, but we can't claim he's a first or in earnest even second-rate concierge. But there it is. Times have changed. The thermal baths are very beautiful." "Yeah. They were in their first condition. Couldn't be maintained, of course. Too decadent for current tastes. But I love it all just the same, this enchanting old ruin." "How did you come to buy it, if I may ask, the Grand Budapest?" "I didn't." "If you're not merely being polite, and you must tell me if that's the case, but if it genuinely does interest you, may I invite you to dine with me tonight, and it will be my pleasure and indeed my privilege to tell you my story, such as it is." "A dozen fiend de clare, actually make it 18, 4 langoustine, 2 ducks roasted with olives, a thick chunk of the young boar, blue with its marrow, turbot, puis Jouvet and Tavel, plus a split of the 98. Thank you." "That should provide us ample time, if I commence promptly." "By all means." Yes. It begins, as it must, with our mutual friend's predecessor, the beloved original concierge of the Grand Budapest. It begins, of course, with... The details of the conspiracy, now a matter of public record, were at that time impossible for us to apprehend. I'm looking for Serge X, a young man in the service of my employers, the family des Golf and Taxis of Schloss Lutz. Yes, sir? You're his sister? Yes, sir. Seen him lately? No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. I need to find him right away, for his own safety and everyone else's. If he shows up, yes, sir, tell him Jopling says, come home. But one thing was certain. The de Golf and Taxis were a very powerful family. And time was not on our side. Let's blow. How'd you get out there? Shut up! These guys are trying to escape. What's wrong with you, you goddamn snitch? Guard, guard, they're getting away. They're... It's you. Thank you. Thank you, you sweet, kind man. Mush biscuit, mush biscuit, mush.
Yeah.
I suppose you'd call that a draw. Anyway, he went out with a bloody knife in his fist jammed into the gut of a dying prison guard. I think that's how he would have wanted it, don't you? It's a hell of a view. I give him that for what it's worth. I agree. When one says midday, what does that mean to you? High noon. Exactly. In other words, 12 p.m. At least that's always been my interpretation. "'Tis oft remarked, no single falling flake does any other in its pure and simple form." Somebody's coming. Are you Mr. Gustav of the Grand Budapest Hotel in Nebelspad? Uh-huh. Get on the next cable car. Are you Mr. Gustav at the Grand Budapest Hotel in Nebelspad? Uh-huh. Switch with me. Okay. Are you Mr. Gustav at the Grand Budapest Hotel in Nebelspad? Uh-huh. Put these on and sing. Psst. Are you Mr. Gustav at the... Yes, damn it. Confess. I'm innocent. No. Forgive me, Monsieur Gustav. I never meant to betray you. They threatened my life, and now they've murdered my only family. No. Who'd they kill this time? My dear sister. The girl with the clubfoot. Yes, those fuckers. I tried to warn you at the beginning. I know, darling, let's put that behind us. Listen, I hate to put you on the spot, but I really must ask you to clear my name. Obviously, you're grieving, and if I had any other... There's more. Okay. To the story. I get it. Go on. I was the official witness in Madame D's presence to the creation of a second will to be executed only in the event of her death by murder. A second will. Right. In case she got bumped off. Right. Uh-huh. But they destroyed it. Oh, dear. However, I pulled a copy. A second copy of the second will. Right. Well, what does it say? Where is it? Well, what's it all about, damn it? Don't keep us in suspense, Sayers. This has been a complete fucking nightmare. Just tell us what the fuck is going on. Sayers! 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 Give me the passkeys. Bloody hell, they've strangled the poor slob. Whoa. Come on! What do we do if we catch him? I don't know. He's a homicidal psychopath. Let's stop. I can't. I can barely steer. You sick, pathetic creep. I hate you. Run, Zero. Save yourself, I suppose. Oh. If this do be me end, farewell, cried the wounded piper boy. Whilst the muskets cracked and the yeomen roared hurrah and the ramparts fell. Methinks me breathes me last, me fears, said he. Holy shit, you got him! Well done, Zero!
Halt! Gustav H., you're a fugitive from justice. Do not attempt to flee. Surrender lawfully, and I personally vouchsafe your fair treatment. Repeat, do not attempt to flee.
What do you think? I don't know. I'd rather jump off this cliff right now than go back to fucking prison. I say we steal that sick maniac's motorcycle, go fetch Agatha, take back Bo with Apple, and head for the Maltese Riviera once and for all. Very good. You're so extraordinary, Zero. Thank you. A moment of silence in memoriam of a devoted servant killed violently during the conduct of his duties. Goodbye, Serge. Okay, let's go. The war began at midnight. Feifelstadt fell by lunch under heavy shelling, and the zigzags surged across the long western border. The Lutz Blitz would last all winter. High Command withdrew to Nebelspad. Compliments of Herr Mendel for the executive staff. General Stieglitz requests a garden view sitting room with an extra rollaway. Let's put him in the Duke Leopold suite. Secretary Vornyetka's office cabled. He's checking in a day early, rooms 401-2-3. Tell Tactical Logistics we're moving them to a standard double on the 3rd floor. They'll need more space than that. Huh. I would have to agree with you. No, but by no means. Okay, well, now come now. The beginning of the end of the end of the beginning has begun. A sad finale played off-key on a broken-down saloon piano in the outskirts of a forgotten ghost town. I'd rather not bear witness to such blasphemy. Me neither. The Grand Budapest has become a troops barracks. I shall never cross its threshold again in my lifetime. Me neither. Never again shall... Actually, I think we might be going in right now after all. Dmitri. What Agatha? Good evening, Mr. Dagoff from Taxis. I'm Mr. Chuck. We've booked you and your sisters in the King Ferdinand suite. How do you do? General von Schrecker personally asked me to make sure... Excuse me. Hey, get Mr. Chuck. 6. Hold it. 6. Compliments of Herr Mendel. Have you seen a pastry girl with a package under her arm in the last minute and a half? Yep, she just got on the elevator with Mr. Dagoff and Taxis. Thank you. I'm sorry. Who are you? Otto, sir, the new lobby boy. Well, you haven't been trained properly, Otto. A lobby boy never provides information of that kind. You're a stone wall. Understood? Yes, sir. Pretty picture. 6th floor. Where's Boy with Apple? None of your goddamn business. I'm gonna blast your candy ass once and for all right now. Drop your weapon. Ceasefire, stop it! Who's shooting who? That's Gustav H., the escaped murderer and art thief. I've got him cornered. That's Dmitri Dagoff on Taxis. He's responsible for the killings of Deputy Kovacs, Serge X, and his club for his sister, plus his own mother. Nobody move. Everybody's under arrest. Who's out the window? Agatha. .310 Hang on, here I come. Something's on the back of the picture. Agatha, are you all right? I think so. Something's on the back of the picture. Huh? What?